Hey mamas, this is Lissa with Mama Wears Many Hats, and I'm back. Hey everyone, this is Lissa with Mama Wears Many Hats. This is a channel where we talk all things motherhood, even the hard and crappy stuff. I've been on a hiatus, I guess you could say, for the past year and a half, and I just wanted to give you guys an update and kind of let you know how everything went down with our daughter. For those of you who are new, towards the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, I was documenting my big fat positive plus size pregnancy, which quickly became documenting my big fat high risk pregnancy, which really quickly became, oh crap, I just delivered my baby girl at 25 weeks, 6 days, weighing 515 grams or 1 pound, 2 ounces, and kicked off a 393-day NICU stay. My intention during that time had been to update everyone and kind of keep everyone abreast of what was going on, really kind of showing what it's like to have a baby in the NICU. And if you've had a baby in the NICU with serious issues, any NICU stay for any reason is too long. I don't care if it's 12 hours, 12 minutes, or 12 months. There's no comparison in NICU journeys. I just have to say that it hit a point where I documented, but every time I would sit down to edit, it seemed like something was happening with our daughter. And so I turned my focus over the last year and a half to really just soaking up every minute I could have with her. She overcame so much. Like I mentioned, she was in the NICU for 393 days. I'll scatter some videos in here so you can kind of see and get to know her. Her name was Jubilee, and I am talking in past tense. On September 18th, 2022, last year, we lost her to a sudden infection while she was in the NICU. She had just celebrated her first birthday, was getting ready to turn 13 months. She was kicking butt and taking names, doing better than she'd done her whole life. And we went down for a procedure that was supposed to be a very standard procedure. She had a G tube, and we were replacing that to be a GJ tube, which if you want to know more about what that kind of stuff is, just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to update everyone. My danger is giving everyone too much information, more than you would actually want, because that was my life for, 13 months. And but we went down for the procedure. She had it, and about a day and a half later, she started acting like something wasn't right, and she ended up passing away from a very quick infection, sepsis. There was bacteria from her stomach that somehow ended in her blood, and after the autopsy, it looks like the most likely cause was a small perforation that they couldn't find it, but it was the only explanation they could find. From that GJ tube, most likely, that allowed the contents in her stomach to get into her blood. So we were able to be with her. We got the call at like 3:30 in the morning that she had coded, and we lived about 45 minutes from the hospital. By the time we got there, she'd coded another 2 or 3 times. We made the decision not to continue intervention, because every time they had to do compressions on her chest and different things, it was just too much for her little body. And so we decided to just love her and hold her for the last few hours. And at 1:37 on September 18th, she went ahead of us into glory. Sorry. So we miss her so much. Obviously today it's January 4th, 2023. So we are 4 months in, or almost 4 months into our journey without her. And I don't know what else to say. If this is one of those things that if you've never lost a child, you don't know what it is to lose a child. And that's not a comparison, that's just if this year and a half has shown me anything, it's there are just things that you don't know until you know. And then once you know it, you can't unknow it. So I have spent the last 3.5 months or so really just caring for my family and getting back into a good headspace, grieving, processing, really trying to give life to my daughter's memory and make a difference. At the end of this video, or down below, I'll link to some really cool things we've had an opportunity to be part of in her memory and in her name since she passed. She was a phenomenal little girl. I've never seen a baby make such an impact on so many people. We had a Facebook group, I'll link that below as well if you want to kind of go back and see more of the story, because that was where I had the bandwidth to update, so I would drop photos and videos and updates for her whole journey. So if you'd ever want to go back and reread through that, you are welcome to. But that is where I have been for the last couple years. It's been, or last couple years, last year and a half. It has been a theme park ride. Like, I mean, people say like the NICU is like a roller coaster. I think the NICU is more like you have your dream vacation that you've planned and you finally get on the plane, and then they let you know you've been delayed and you sit on the tarmac for hours and hours and hours, and then you finally take off, and then you get rerouted somewhere, and then you hit turbulence, and then you're running out of gas and they have to refuel mid-air, and then they end up grounding you in like Newark, and you sit there forever. And in some cases like us, you never even make it to your destination and your baby never gets to come home. So yeah, so I may have some videos on here kind of just letting you guys know a little bit about her life. Like I said, she lived to be almost 13 months old, just 3 days shy. She ended up having a tracheostomy. Her biggest issue was with her lungs. When I was pregnant, if you go back and watch some of the videos, I'll try and link back up here. I had oligohydro, I still can't say it, where I had very, very low amniotic fluid, placental insufficiency that they believe was due to preeclampsia, which is why I ended up delivering early with her. So in that, because she was born so early, because she was severely IUGR, her lungs were severely underdeveloped, and so that was really her big point. Through this process, we've met a lot of other 25-weekers who've gotten to go home, who are home even now and were born around the same time she was and are off oxygen. I mean, like, her outcome really was not the norm. Yeah, so I've learned a whole lot about being a mom to a medically complex kid. I can do trach care and trach changes and G-tube care and G-tube changes and all the things that I never thought I'd be able to do. I can give medicines. And I'm so glad I got to do that for her. So yeah, that's the update. I don't want to get too rambly. I'm really proud of myself so far, only 10 minutes. If, again, you have any questions or you'd like to know more about that side of it, please let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to share more. I just don't want to overshare things that people don't want to know. But I am happy to talk about her. She was amazing. And like, to this months later at the hospital, people are still wearing little Polaroid pictures of her on their badges, even if they never were her nurse. She just had this like crazy huge fan club. Like, even the the radiologists and the x-ray techs and the, literally, we did an outreach for Christmas. Our church decided we wanted to support NICU families and put together care packages for them, for those who were gonna be there for the Christmas season. And one day randomly, there was this guy and his wife who came, and he was an EEG tech at Vandy where our daughter was. And he asked one of the pastors to, because he shared about what was going on, and he asked, can I talk to her? And he brought him to me, and he's like, are you talking about Jubilee? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, I remember her. I loved her. She was so precious. And he'd only ever done an EEG on her like 3 times. I mean, she got him a lot, but I'm saying he'd only done it, like, there was 120 beds in the NICU, and then we were at a children's hospital, like, and they did EEGs on all the floors. And like, for this random person to have done 3 EEGs on her and to remember her, like, that is the kind of impact this kid had. Like, she was just amazing. I don't even know how else to say it. She just had so much spunk and so much personality that to know her was to love her. We had her memorial. We had people from her first hospital. We had people from her second hospital. We had people who knew about her story from people who knew us who came. Like, it was crazy. We streamed her video, or streamed her memorial, because of our Facebook group. And it was like the highest watched service our church has ever done. So yeah, it's just amazing to see how much a life, small as it is, can impact people. And it's just an honor to be part of it. So here I've started rambling again, and yeah, but I just wanted to let you guys know where we've been. I have some things I'm going to be starting to record. The direction of this channel might change a little bit. We'll still be talking motherhood. But I do want to make resources for families and parents that are in that position. And I haven't decided if it'll go on this channel, or I've kind of started setting up a new channel for that kind of stuff as well. So it may just go over there, and I may just reference it here. But yeah, so that's the update. I'm glad to be back with you guys. I have missed this outlet. It just was a thing that I did not have a mental fortitude for, but I'm glad to have that space now. So thank you if you've stayed around this long. Make sure you give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of the journey that's coming up. That's Milo. You'd be surprised how big he is now. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, mamas.